to boat. H2B. Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Humble to Bold. Today we're talking about in the background. In the background. I came up with this because I saw in the Bible where right in Genesis 1 in the beginning it said that God created heaven and earth. And it doesn't necessarily talk about the other planets that God has since then created. And I wanted to talk with you guys today about the stuff that God does in the background that we don't see, that is not talked about, however is so ever present in today's life. I was just looking, I saw that Mars, it gives off just enough temperature of heat. And Venus gives off just enough light. And I was just looking at Jupiter gives off just enough gas and energy. And then I saw that they've since then removed Pluto. And the reason why Pluto is removed because of the clutter has overshadowed it to the point where it does not become a planet. And I want to talk with y'all about that, the capabilities of God, the wonders of God. Because in the Bible, it doesn't too much talk about the galaxy and the planets other than the stars and the light and him creating it all in the beginning. However, in Hezekiah becomes suddenly ill, and the prophet comes to talk to him about his illness and what God's going to do for him. And in his unbelief, because he's yet to see this happen before, he asks God, well, it's easy for you to, to turn the hand forward or speed things up because you're God. I've yet to see you send things back, like back to the future or back to where. So I would say it would be best if you send it back. Send the sundial back. And I want to talk with y'all about how we can't necessarily go back in time and, figure out when he created heavens and earth, how did Pluto come into play? How did Uranus and Jupiter, we can't necessarily go back to that unless God sends us back with his capabilities. But I want to talk to you about in your life, because God is concerned about life. The only thing that has life pretty much is earth and, of course, today the moon that we know of. And he concerns himself with life and not death. So I want to talk with you about the things that he does in the background for life, so that you can have life and life more abundantly, that he does not talk about. The things that are being moved in the background that God so suddenly moves for us that we didn't ask for. It's just automatically happening because he concerns himself with life. He doesn't concern himself with sick or death or destruction or destroying. He ultimately wants to see us live in the moment, live in our lives. So I want to talk about that because everything he created was good. Everything he created, he wants to have long life and longevity and growth. And I speak about a lot of growth in, maneuvering in life, to have movement, to go down the path that God set for you, because a lot of things come up in life that are hindering us. And I want to talk with you about that. Sometimes we can't see what God is doing in the moment, but we see the result of what he's done. And like in the Bible, when the 10 guys were healed and they went on, he said, show yourself to the priest. One came back to say, thank you. I've yet to see my sickness healed or confirmation or activation of the healing. But because I know you're God and you can do it and it was done, I'm coming back in Thanksgiving to thank you for what I know you've done. And if we can send God that Thanksgiving before we see the manifestation or the actual result of what has occurred, we definitely can bless God in the moment. Had there been life on earth in that moment where he was creating life, there was darkness in our lives, in darkness in those moments where we don't know what else to do, and God comes in and speaks life into our situation. He speaks life and he does things in the background that we know not about, and he changes our situation for the good. Listen to me when I tell you that God is great. He's awesome and mighty and worthy to be praised, and the goodness of God will continue to follow us all the days of our life. But you have to send thanksgiving to him for the things that are done in the background. Short, quick word, nothing too much. Just want to say thank him for what's done in the background. Ask him to do things in the background, whether it's sending things back or sending things forward. Ask him to manifest in your life and make that initial change. Again, another episode of Humble to Bold. You can get both of my books, Getting Back to You, Let this mind be in you, which is also in Christ Jesus, on www.taliashafan.com. Much love. Be blessed.